Hey, y'all. Hi, Ivana Intuitive and Indigo Chrysalis and Bora
Bora.
Bora. How are you doing tonight? Well, we are gonna do some mediumship reads, some tarot reads, pull some oracle cards. If you just want a card, well, I'll just pick a card and um, either an oracle or a tarot card and read on that. Um, yeah, it's Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
One thing I wanted to talk about tonight while we're waiting for everybody to come in is and waiting for you to post up questions. Hello, Janet P. Um, is if you guys want mediumship reads or tarot reads or oracle reads, put up your questions and I'll star them. But I was going to talk about this week is National Herb Week. And
sorry, that just
it is.
I'm trying to keep my face straight, and I'm like, there's really a week called National Herb Week.
I didn't know either. But I actually let's see, what's her name? Susan Wittig Albert. She writes these books. It's about it's a cozy mystery, but it's about an herbalist, and she's very very into herbs. The author is,
Right.
and so it's really a cool little cozy mystery kind of thing. And I read the China Bell series, and everything she's written. She written under.
Sorry, I'm laughing. Heather.
Robin Page.
Heather said heather is a shrub, and it just caught my attention. I was like, "What? Heather is a shrub? What does that mean?" And I'm like, "Oh, I get it in terms of heather the plant."
Yeah.
Sorry, Heather.
Yeah.
I was really confused.
Well, I mean, lavender is an herb,
Right.
and it's just so calming. The scent just puts me in a place. And people use sage and Palo Santo and to bless things and stuff. And it's just nobody thinks. I mean, we season our food with herbs. They're a integral part of our life, but we're glad everything tastes good, but we don't really think about the herbs have medicinal benefits. It goes on and on and on. Oh, thank you, Heather.
Very cool.
Hi, Ron.
Hi, Ron. Hi, Ivana.
And
what you're talking about reminds me. There was many years ago in England, they used to do this fantastic gardening show, which I really enjoyed. Garden Rescuers, I believe it was called, and they would go to people's houses and sort of do like a surprise garden makeover. Usually a family member or something was in on it. It's quite cool. And anyways, many times in that program, and this is where I learned about herbs, was on this program. Many times they would do this thing where they would literally put like stones or like flagstones or patio stones and separate them, and in between the spaces they would put the herbs really low to the ground. And so the idea is that when you walk along, so your pant leg would touch it, or like your leg would touch it, and you would release the fragrance into the air.
That's cool. Yeah.
I just thought it was a really neat idea, right?
Yeah.
They also did it on beds where you would like sit, where there was like a bench, and then you would sit down, and then like you could just take your hand really, and like release that around you. And I just thought like that was a really interesting idea for someone to have that experience.
And mint, I planted mint all around my house because mice don't like it.
That's right.
And so,
hi Mims, good to see you.
Oh, Ron learned today that his sister-in-law had passed.
Oh,
I'm
well, I'm
so
so
sorry,
sorry.
Ron. Well, why don't we have a moment
Yeah,
of just sending love? Okay.
absolutely.
I'm so sorry. Why don't we send you all the best, Ron? Oh my goodness. Yeah, herbs are a um first love of mine too. It's I I love being able to take something natural and depend on it rather than something man-made.
Yeah. Okay. Can
And
I
when I
share a really
can
funny
do that,
story about chives?
sure.
So last year, I've never grown herbs before, and I can't have plants in the house because my cats will eat them. So, anyways, last year I decided I was going to plant some herbs, and I've been wanting to do it for years, but it just never worked out. Anyway, so last year I planted these herbs, and I planted chives. And so one night we were out there and we were having a barbecue, and I'm like, "Okay, honey, bring me the scissors." And he was like, "What?" And I said, "Well, what? We made baked potatoes on the barbecue," and I said, "We put some chives in your potatoes." So he's like, so he goes in the house begrudgingly, right? And he gets me the scissors and I cut them off and I'm like, okay. And he's like, "You're not going to wash them?" And I'm like, "No, you just put them on." You would have
Yeah.
thought that I was making baked potatoes for the neighborhood because I literally had like this much. You know what I mean? It was great. It was so good. And just like you're saying, it just made me feel fantastic that, like we grew that and then
Yeah.
we could add it. It was lovely.
I mean, the like turmeric. You can put turmeric in food and it makes it a very, very vibrant golden orangey color.
Yes.
And so it's appealing to the eye. And turmeric is so good. It's very antioxidant.
Yes.
And so it's so good for you. And there's just a million more
Yeah.
things. I mean, like I can't say it. Sin o min. If I say it quickly, I
Cinnamon.
say cinnamon.
Cinnamon. Well, cinnamon and cinnamon are great. Dill is also really good too, and is used in a lot of things. It has a wonderful scent. There's of course basil grows like crazy,
Mhm.
right? Oregano.
Well, I mean, okay.
Is
Let's talk
gorgeous.
about something that people don't think about ever being good is nettles. That those plants
Yes.
that they sting you, the
Yeah.
vines sting you, the leaves
Yeah.
don't. The you know it has medicinal properties. You can eat the leaves, the non-stinging leaves. You put them in, you like wilt them, and you can make cloth out of the stems.
Really interesting.
Yes, yeah. So it's kind of like you you realize that we as humans in the industrial revolution, we've got all those plastics that are microplastics that are now in the air, in the food we eat, in the air we breathe, in our blood.
Yeah.
So we really need to get a handle on our plastic.
Yeah.
We really, really, really do.
Yeah. I absolutely do.
And I don't know what's going to make them.
Sorry, that was random. I would love to have a herb garden in my kitchen. I was literally thinking that. I said it out loud. I meant to say it in my head. Sorry. Bye, Joji. Hi, Tracy.
I love learning about herbs. It was what I did when right after my stroke, when I just started to be able to read again. I read just tons and tons of herbals. I wanted to be a naturopathic doctor, but I couldn't retain what I was learning because the memorization part of it, because so many herbs interact, like certain things you can't take while pregnant, certain things you can't take it with thinning your. I mean, willow bark tea. Willow bark tea is where aspirin came from. Willow bark. They got that's where they found it.
Right.
Willow bark tea is very, very good, but if you have bleeding issues, it's not. You know.
Interesting.
Oh, I love flowers. Oh,
yes,
I mean, they're I mean, like chamomile, it's so pretty. It's just those little delicate flowers, and I love lavender. Oh. Yeah. Okay, come on, y'all. Think up some questions for us to do. You want to do?
That's a great idea, Tracy. Tracy's suggesting that Mim starts a channel and teaches us about. Yeah, I'd say that's great.
That would be great because I love gardening and stuff like that. I just can't do it. I can't because you're bending over and standing up, and I wind up falling down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could. Yeah, I don't know if you've tried it or not, but you can try to do like a raised bed or one that's.
Well,
we built a little retaining wall out here because my backyard is on a decline hill, and
we got one of
those. Ours at a sitting level, so I can literally sit there, like in my chair, and plant. Like on one side. Yeah,
we got one of those little garden things that has the light.
Yeah.
And I had tomatoes and basil, and chives that year.
Yeah.
But the light went out, and the company, at the time you couldn't get the lights any. I mean, the lights were back ordered so far that you couldn't get the lights for it.
Yeah.
And unless you ordered a new machine.
Oh.
If you ordered a new machine, you got the light. But so
that's interesting. Ivana's got a question there, love. We used to, speaking to Mim specifically, when Tracy suggested that she start a channel, and then Mim said about like the garden chats are fun. We used to have a lady that I worked with many, many years ago that was just, a wealth of information about gardening. And I mean, you're working in an office, you don't know that she knows anything about gardening. And I don't know how it started. One day someone asked her something and she just started rhyming off all these things about, where you should plant this and when you should plant that. And this grows best in this type of conditions, etc. And anyway,
I got you, Ron.
She came up with this great idea of having a plant exchange. And so we would come to twice a year and do a plant exchange. So we would bring like a little sprout or, a couple of sprouts or whatever, and we would exchange with each other so that we all had a piece of each other's garden in our garden. And it was so much fun. We did it for years. It was just fantastic. I loved it. So I thought it was a neat idea. If you're able to do that with someone like your neighbor or whatever, exchange plants, right? It's a cool idea.
I mean, but the only thing is, what are they called? Cannas. There are these. I think they're called cannas. They're beautiful. They have purpley leaves, and they get really, really tall, and they have like a flower it's more like you know that flower called the bird of paradise. You know that like that. That's the style of flower that comes out the top, and I love them. And me and a friend had done that. She gave me some basil, some purple leaf basil, and some of that, and I gave her some irises because I have a lot of irises.
Yeah,
and those cannas took over. They were going out into the yard. Yeah. They went all around my house. I had to dig them up. I dug them up. I dug a 3-foot trench following the roots. Yeah. I went so far down, I poured poison on the roots.
Yeah.
And still the next year there were 3 plants growing.
Yeah.
And I immediately, got to, but because they don't mess around, they're going to grow.
Some of those plants are so invasive, which, is great. Although, you know what? Let me just talk for a minute, people. I mean, seriously, do you ever notice that the plant, when you need a plant to like spread like wildflowers and just grow, it doesn't. You can't ever find the right one to fit that spot. But then there's always that spot where they're like, you cannot, it doesn't matter how many times you dig, there's like that one tulip that just keeps popping out going, hey, I'm still, you know what I mean? Yeah. in the worst spot. Oh my gosh. That's funny.
Yeah, Ivana Intuitive.
Sorry, I didn't know we had started. I missed the fact that you put the question on the screen. I was here. She thinks she's by herself. I'm joking. I winked at you. I hope you've seen that. It's like Kathy's here. Hi, Michelle, my belle. Good to see you, my friend.
Hi, Michelle, my belle. So good to see you.
It's just so much nicer when Kathleen says Michelle, my belle, with her accent. Sounds so good. Oh, Michelle, my belle. It doesn't sound anything like what I just said, but I like to think that I gave it a good shot. That name is funny, Mims. Gooseneck loosestrife. Good grief. What is that? Oh, I think you're going to be just fine, Ivana. Hi, Vivian.
Okay.
Go for it, Kathleen. You ready?
Okay. Well, you have some worries. You feel like people are watching you. You think that you've got to get this done, and it's weighing on your mind. You feel very much like you are defending your position, but this is going to be a chance for learning. It's going to be a chance for stewardship. You're going to discover, and you're going to enjoy learning about this. Um, you have the Ace of Wands here. And the thing is about this opportunity is it is going to be so inspirational. Um, you're going to have to slow down and plan things to make it happen. The devil's in the details is what you need to remember. The devil, don't get obsessed with the details and hang yourself up, but the devil is in the details. So being meticulous while not being strung out over it is going to be a big part. You need to make sure that you are seeing every opportunity, because look, you have the Four of Cups and the Hanged Man. That means that for you to see what you're doing, you're going to have to change your perspective. Okay. And then we got the Queen of Pentacles.
Nice.
So you're going to get there, but you need to pay attention to to your, first of all, you need to de-stress every day and wash all that stuff away and get a good night's sleep and start again, especially when you're busy. But and that will help you in seeing the opportunities arise, because you've got the Ace of Wands. And so that is big inspiration, but followed by the Four of Cups and the devil and the Hangman. I think that you need to you need to bring it down a notch. You need to rest and make sure you're looking at it right, so that you don't get carried away with that inspiration, if you know what I'm saying. So sounds like you're gonna have a cool week.
I got really cool cards for you, Ivana. I've got the Eight of Pentacles. So just like you said, you're working really hard. There's a confirmation. Sorry, that was not funny at all. I thought it was cute. Ten of Pentacles. You're working really hard to build your legacy, build your security, that kind of idea. You've got the Page of Pentacles. So just like Kathleen said, like you're inspired. And then I actually got the Page of Wands too. So you've got like double the inspiration. You've got, all of this, like all of these ideas kind of swirling around your head. So I sort of agree with what Kathleen is saying. Not sort of, I agree with what Kathleen is saying, sort of not overwhelm yourself with it, right? I've got the Eight of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So it is coming, it's happening quickly for you. I pulled a couple of oracle cards. I've got the Raven, which is the Wise Woman. And the Wise Woman is a change is coming. Okay. What I thought was interesting is I pulled this card for you, which is from the Power of Surrender cards. Surrender to your intuition. So remembering to tune into your inner voice, be aware of your gut feelings and your flashes, your knowings, your aha moments. That will come through and help you with this, right? Remember to listen to yourself. And then I pulled these last two cards. They came out at the same time. I got Narrow Pathway, Tread Thoughtfully. So again, I think that ties into that using your intuition, and what Kathleen was saying, not get too kind of, you know what I mean? And then I've got Transformation. A fresh new way of living emerges. So you're going to come out of this, with a whole new sort of way of doing things. But right now, it's kind of like, think of yourself as like a snow globe. Literally, if someone's shaking you up and you're like, oh my God, just breathe. Just breathe and just let it go. What is the saying that Ron says? Let it go and let it flow.
Yeah, just go with the flow.
The flow. And you're going to just fine, my friend.
I think you are going to do great, Ivana. Ron, Unconditional Love Tarot. Yeah, we'll pull some cards for him. Did you see my deck Aley got me?
Yeah, that's really pretty. I love that. That's so pretty. What's it called, love?
The Tarot of Mystical Moments. It's this box.
Oh, okay. Yes, I've heard of that before. Yeah, beautiful. You know, it's so interesting to me to see people use the cards because it's not the same as when you see them, you know, like on a site to buy them, right? When you see them in use, it's different.
Yeah, we all need to focus more on our intuition, because I think there's a lot of times that we aren't listening. It's not that they aren't trying to talk to us, it's that we aren't listening.
Well, we still have that whole argument going on between our head and our heart that we, you know, somehow we know better, right? If that makes sense. You all know what I mean when I say that? Ooh, jeepers. Flying out. Oh, that's very nice of you to say, Mims. Thank you. It's good to see you. And I love hanging out with my friend Kathleen.
Oh, I love hanging out with Kelly too.
Yay!
We have a good old time.
Woohoo! Look, Mom, no hands. Sorry, I don't know what me. I am crazy. I'm trying to think. I want to pull another card, but I don't know which one to do. There we go. I got it. You see Vivian's question there, love?
Yeah, just started.
The only way you can catch them all, Mims, is if you literally stay on 24/7. I was telling someone the other day, I probably literally have like 200 or 300 videos in my notification things to watch, and there's just no way. I just can't.
There's no way.
Hi, Chrissey. Hi, Sherry H.
Hi, Chrissey. I love you.
Chrissy's coming to Dzncats4me. I'm so excited. And she popped on last week.
She is.
It's an impromptu.
Well, bless her heart. It's there's no telling what time it was.
Yeah, I know. That's the unfortunate part, right?
Okay.
Yeah. What'd you get, Kathleen?
Well, I got that you have a community around you that is very supportive.
Sorry, Chrissy says send her an invite now if you want.
Okay. Let me get on here.
Hi, Cardamancy. Hi, Arlene. Just give us a moment, you guys.
And send. Okay, it's on its way. I have no idea how long it'll take. Okay. Now then, You have community that loves you. You have community that you need to band together with your family, and that can be your soul family, that can be your actual family, and because you need that joy right now, that illumination. This is the sun card. The death of a loved one is always, this is the judgment card. There is always an awakening. You find something that you didn't realize about that person, or something that when they died, it wasn't until they died that you realize how much you cared for them, or on and on and on and on. Death has such finality to it that it is a time of judgment. Because you can't go on. That's the final act of being human. But what we realize is we are souls in a human body, and so when the human body dies, our souls go on, and so that's very much an awakening. And I think you have more wrapping your mind around this trouble, more like she you knew she was going to die, you knew she'd been sick, but it's like you have to feel those feelings. You've prepared yourself, you've let yourself feel those feelings, and then you have to let her go. And so you came to the place of letting go. You still feel like crap.
Yeah.
But you know that it was the best thing for her. And you're rebuilding your life. Not so much rebuilding as you are, what am I saying? It's like you're working on, what is it? Hang on. You're working on walking away from the feelings that her death has had almost
her
on.
death has like exposed things that he didn't realize that were like, he's experiencing things that he wasn't aware he was going to experience.
Yeah.
Up to the surface.
Yeah. But you have the ability to look at yourself, look at different issues that you've dealt with in the past, and to line them out. This is the Knight of Swords. You have zeal and passion about relieving some of those burdens. And you're going to help others, either in your family or like friends of the deceased, to get more closure. Here's the deal. I got whale song, which is resonance, which you are trying to put forth something to make to connect with others' emotions, and you realize that even though most of the people in like you're related to, they won't be open if you put it too metaphysically, too woo woo. But the jeweled web of connectivity, there's so many of these issues that we have it when it doesn't matter, any big event that happens in our lives can trigger a little, even a small event that happens in our life can trigger set a trigger off, and it goes to this emotion, this emotion, this emotion, and then it touches that trauma. And it pokes that trauma and makes it flare up. So you being able to talk about your feelings will be of benefit to others. And I hope this makes sense.
Well, this is going to sound silly for me to say, but it made sense to me because it sort of mimics what I got. And when I first tossed the cards, I was like, what? This doesn't make sense. But now that you've done that, now I'm like, okay, so now I get it. Ron, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Me too.
This is what I got for you, love. I got the star card to start with, which is lovely. This is about renewed hope and renewed faith, and that connection that just makes you sort of smile when you think about it. I feel like, when you believe in something and it makes you feel good to believe in it, you sort of believe in it with your whole heart, if you understand what I mean. I've got the Knight of Swords in reverse. So that's, I think, how you're feeling. You're feeling a little bit sort of unfocused. Oh, hi, Chrissy. How are you?
Hi.
So good to see you.
Hi, how are you?
I feel so blessed. This is the second time in just a few days that I've had the pleasure of being with Chrissy. This is so nice.
I've got a really busy day ahead, but I'd love to join you guys for half an hour if you're happy.
Oh, goody.
Yay.
A little bit till just after 10 o'clock my time. And then unfortunately I'll have to go, but that's all right. I'll let the medication kick in on my knees so I can actually start cleaning the house.
Oh my goodness.
That's the best thing about visitors is that it actually forces you to clean your house.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. The house is good. Ron,
mine is a I won't use the term I normally use because that would be really insensitive to places that are really under attack. But mine looks like the Chaos Fairy went through it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's like me too. I want to come on your channel, but I'm gonna have to go on with you sometime that you're not doing politics, because my head, the spring weather, there's so many storms popping up. I'm staying so.
Oh, don't worry about that.
It's just I can't keep my vibes up. I can't. So
I'm thinking of I like to occasionally live that is not about politics. It's about things other than politics. So I'll probably organise one of those.
Well, you could do it's actually Friday the 13th, because instead of it's all sort of Friday. What is it?
Not quite Friday the 13th.
Not quite Friday the 13th.
Well, I am, because in the US it will still be at Friday the 13th, but where I am it'll be Saturday the 14th.
Oh, I forgot.
So yeah, I'm doing one of those. I am doing one of those next weekend. So.
Awesome.
I may join you on that if you.
Absolutely, I'll send you an invite.
Great.
Hey, Kelly. Well,
absolutely, I'm in for it. Absolutely, I'm up for it.
if you guys would like to join me. How's that, guys? Kelly and Katie, the K's, the K girl.
We're gonna be CKK or
I'm gonna
KKC
join
or
you for my next not quite Friday the 13th, which is
I love it.
not this
I
week.
just want to real quick finish up Ron's reading here that I was just doing here for him. So
I'm so sorry for your loss, my
no,
darling.
no, I did not awful, so sad. So Ron, again, I got the star card, so that's like renewing your hope, renewing your faith. Then I've got the Knight of Swords in reverse, as I said, right, which is feeling a little bit confused, a little bit unfocused. I sort of feel like, you know, you're used to the way that you do things and feeling this unconditional love thing, that this is kind of like, ooh, kind of like threw you backwards a little bit. And then I've got the death card, which symbolizes exactly what has happened, but it also symbolizes the opportunity for you to take everything that you've learned over the last few years and almost listen to your own words of wisdom that you give to so many other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because right next to that, I've got the King of Swords. So that is you, Ron, sitting at the top of your mountain, being analytical, being thoughtful, seeking the truth, sort of coming to terms with it, right? And then, interestingly enough, I got the Judgment card, as Kathleen did, and then I also got the Hermit card on the bottom of the deck. So just taking that time to really, you know, sort out how you feel and process it. And then just really quickly, I pulled from the language of color, and I've got red, which is free yourself from pain, which is what you're going to do when you go through this process. And then in honor of Chrissey, and I don't know why this is just so funny, Chrissey pops on the screen and I pulled kangaroo. This is from the Animal Spirit Wisdom deck, but it's courage. You are being tested. Have faith and stand in your truth. So that again speaks to the hope card, not the hope card, sorry, the star card, as well as the Judgment card. Just be kind to yourself and allow yourself to process this. And of course, if you need any help, you've got a lot of people here. As Katie said, you got a whole community behind you, friend. So don't be afraid to reach out.
And the kangaroo, the courage thing, I can absolutely see where that is, because I am in Australia, and if you have ever seen a full-size live male kangaroo, believe me, they are very scary animals. They're very strong animals.
Yes.
But it can also be like they jump up and they go down, and they jump up and they go down. And the thing that passed through my head when you pulled that card, Kelly, was a bit of a process and a natural process of up and down, up and down. And it can take a lot of courage to do that.
Yes.
So it's not just physical courage, which, trust me, you want to go right up to a full grown man, but also emotional courage. So yeah, I just got my deck out here, and Ron, I'm going to pull a couple of. This is the John Holland Psychic Tarot. I'm just going to pull a couple of quick cards for you too, my darling. And then Vivian's got something.
Vivian is. I'll put Ron up here, and so that you got a visual, his tiny little picture.
Foundation and achievements. Third eye chakra and patience and planning. So this is very much just reminding myself of, because this is minor arcana, physical, the green border. We've got a purple border. It's got rather than houses, it's got the borders. Indigo, mental, foundation and achievements, and violet border. Okay, so this is the violet border. which is the first thing I got was a violet border, which is all about your spirit, and it's got foundation and achievement. And of course, Ron, you have touched so many lives, and you have brought new hope and a new perspective and guidance to people to help them attain their achievements and to help them attain some sort of emotional foundation. You have everything you need within you to be able to do that for yourself, but you also have that access to that from us, from the people who watch all of our channels, who from your subscribers, who we love you, and I am a subscriber. But as Kelly said, if we had to watch everything every day, we'd never.
Right.
But also from deep within you, you have a really good solid foundation, patience and planning. And this is the red border, and you've got things so much to do, and sometimes it's going to feel like everything's getting out of control. Sit down, take a few deep breaths. Don't get angry at yourself if you feel like things are getting like I should have it all together. Come on, you've suffered a big loss. Have a bit of patience with yourself and sit down and just maybe patience and planning. Maybe say, okay, this is what I'm going to do in the next half hour, and then in the next hour, and then in the next, and then I'll sit down again in 4 hours and give myself 5 minutes and then plan the next step. And I'm pretty sure the longer you go, the longer you'll be able to plan for. Third eye chakra, I think this is a major arcana. So, like I said, I haven't used this deck in a long time, my darling. So, no, that's harmony. Okay. So, number 6 is the black border. So, the chakras. Okay. So, the third eye chakra, of course, is up here. Okay. And it's just when you're sitting down. The sound is.
My dog's barking. I'm gonna hang on.
That's mine. That's my Bubba boy. Hey, Whippy! Quiet, Bubba. But when you're sitting down, in that few minutes, the color is indigo. The sound is which might sound. The element is light. So sometimes if you do feel things get a little bit on top of you, go and stand someone, even if it's a cold day and all that. Go and stand in some natural light. Stand by a window, even if it's an overclouded day. Go and stand by a window, get some natural light, and let that soak it in. And give yourself just a couple of minutes. That you can make the sound if you like. You can make it within your head, and that will help. That will help get through those periods of wow, and they can hit suddenly. So, love you, Ron.
That's really good, Chrissy. Poor Kathleen's having a bit of a sneezing fit. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but she looked like she was falling out your back. I was just going to say, you literally looked like you were going to walk through this screen. I was like,
I was desperately trying to get to shut the screen off because I have this envisionment of sneezing real hard and all my hair going like this, my glasses falling off.
That's
and
what I saw. I saw this head going. I saw this head going. Whoop.
yeah.
And then it came up like, so yeah, okay.
Well, way to interrupt our flow, Kathleen. Holy
yeah, I know. I was trying to turn it off and be very discreet, but I didn't quite make it.
Oh my God, Ron, we love you. It's we're all here for you, love. And there's no shame or blame in asking and asking for your friends to gather around you. We do it every day here. So remember that, my friend. All right.
We love you, Ron. You want to come on to my show next week? You want to be my next week guest, Ron?
I think the dog wants to come on. The dog wants to stay, friends.
Yeah, hey, I've got a Great Pyrenees that wants to discuss how the living is in Oklahoma versus Australia. So you get your dog, and then we can just let them talk. Yeah,
that's funny. Vivian, I've got really interesting cards for you, love. I got the Queen of Swords for you here, Vivian. And then I've got the Three of Pentacles. Got a lot of earth energy, so a lot of money stuff. Of course, the Three of Pentacles is about working together, working as a group. It's about teamwork and community and cooperation. And then I've got the Four of Pentacles right behind it. So sometimes this is the miserly card. Sometimes I don't really like what that implies, but I think that's just, maybe you're saving for something. Maybe you're planning for like a vacation, or you're planning for a rainy day, or you're setting some money aside. Maybe you feel like you need to be cautious with your money. You're just kind of holding on to it really, really tight. And then I got the Queen of, not the Queen. I've got the Three of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So this is you having a celebration. This is you hanging out with your friends. Again, sort of speaking to that feeling of community and the people that are around you and like your soul tribe. Do you know what I mean? Like your friends, your siblings, maybe. So I'm not sure if maybe you're planning a trip or an outing with them or a get together or something. That kind of is what I'm thinking about that. And then I got Bat. Listen up. You are working through deep soul patterns. Release any outdated beliefs that surface. So based on the cards, it seems like you're working on this and coming through it. You'll want to spend time with the people that you're connected to. I sort of feel like. And then I got these two cards to sort of finish it up. I've got Flow and Openness. They're just beautiful images, but they both have the moonlight in, okay? And for anyone who knows me, you know that I really enjoy going out late at night, looking up at the stars, looking up at the moon. It feels very peaceful to me. I get an awful lot of like emotional clarity when I'm sitting out at that time of night. And I would suggest that maybe either you like that time of night, or maybe you should go sit outside and just sort of talk to the moon, maybe take some of the power from the moon, re-energize yourself with the power of the moon. There's something about the moon that so maybe just go out and just sort of feel it and see how it feels to you. I don't know. There's something about it because it's coming up. It's come up twice, actually 3 times, with the Bat card. Right, there's the moon in the center of the Bat card, and then there's the constellation and the Three of Cups. So there's something about that for you. I don't know what it means. And there's a spider crawling down my wall.
Ew. You done?
Yes, sorry, that's what I got for you, Vivian. I hope that makes sense.
The first one that I got is the Ace of Swords. And in this situation, I think it went with the Two of Swords. You need clarity to make a decision, to get your thoughts in order. You are very there's something that hits you really in the emotions about this situation. But when I saw these 3 cards together, it's the Queen of Cups, the Three of Cups, and the Six of Swords. All these three cards together means that if you look at a situation from the emotional aspect and everything, if something hits you in the emotions, you are going to need your people, your tribe. You're walking through, you're going to better waters. The ideas are going to get clearer, but you have a period where you need to get in touch with you, and you need more companionship, laughter, um, either in the chat or um, in real life. You need more of the camaraderie. I think it will help you in ways that I'm going to keep going. If you get that emotional maturity, I got both the King and Queen of Cups. If you gain that emotional security, that emotional stability, that emotional maturity, the Ace of Pentacles is, that's the land of opportunity. You can plant seeds. You can harvest what you are planting and working at so diligently. And I'm thinking, for some reason, I also got the Hierophant. So I'm thinking that this, whatever you're working on, goes to a higher plane. And so I'm thinking you need to examine your feelings on something, because a lot of times the mental blocks we have about um, our gifts and meditation, all that kind of stuff, it's a mental block that's slowing you down. And this it's like, once you figure out whatever is in your field that is blocking you, I think you're going to run up that stairway with the Hierophant, because you have to get, that's the stairway, that's the going up, that's the going up and taking each rung of the ladder is the way that you progress in this. And your emotional maturity, your emotional what is it I want this detail. You have to get over or get through or get past some sort of trauma, some sort of, and it can be any kind of like childhood trauma, there's something that is holding you back, and it's got an emotional core. So yeah.
Okay, Viviane, I've got a really interesting thing. Is that I've pulled 3 cards, and I've got a major arcana in the middle, and on either sides of it is a chakra card. So what Kay was just saying before about that emotional trauma, I've got temptation, okay? And this in this case, I do feel like it is linked to a trauma, and it's something that it doesn't always have to be an addiction behavior. It can be a a mistake in the patterns in which we do things, making the same mistake over and over, or doing the same thing over and over, and you're making the same mistake every time and you don't even realize it. Or it can be being drawn back to a trauma and letting it disrupt you. Every time you feel like you're making progress, that trauma, sometimes, last time I was at this stage, this happened, and it's just going to happen all the way again. So this is a step you have to address, because what it's doing is our chakras, in order to work great, they all have to be in balance. And your third eye chakra here, the one here that helps you plan and see and soaks up the light that is so needed, there's an imbalance between that and your throat chakra. And I do feel this might be, this is something you don't speak about and haven't spoken about, but it's time to go and find someone who you can talk to about it, because it draws you back in, and every time you feel yourself getting balanced here, you get choked here. And it's and I do feel like it's addressing. And you know what? It doesn't always have to be what's the panda card?
It's balance.
Balance, yeah. So a lot of people, unfortunately, it's something horrible, but it doesn't, sometimes it can just be a mistake that they made, and they don't, and that's caused a lot of trauma, because they feel like and it can cause fear of making the same mistake.
Yeah.
I stuffed up this exam, and I'm going to stuff up the next one. I stuffed up the last one. I'm going to stuff up the next one. So it's a real time to talk about whatever it is that you feel is blocking you, and I think you know what it might be, and it's time to take it from here, where it seems to be invading in here, and express it through here.
Yeah,
Okay?
and I think having you said, may I have a reading about what's next to me? I think maybe Spirit is saying what you should do next is address this.
And if you do address it, let's have a look what happens if you address it. Look at this, my darling. Moving on.
I got surrendered
Be able to move on, and move on in the way you want to.
Yeah.
Okay, in the way you want to, not in the way society has taught you to want to, or if there's a bit of fear of judgment in there too.
I was literally just typing in the chat.
If you're not hurting anyone or breaking any laws, stuff the rest of society.
Yeah.
You have a right to live your life
Absolutely
how you want to, and move on with your life how you want to. And just clearing the air with this, stopping it from coming in through here and filtering it. And there's a wonderful clip on the Muppets with Madeline Kahn, where she's walking in a park and there's this big monster, and she starts talking all nice to it, and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and she talks it down to a manageable size. That's the chakra here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what's really interesting about that, Chrissey, is what you just said. First of all, that was beautiful. But while you were talking, I don't know why, I was just shuffling the cards. You all seen me. And I was literally just typing in the chat for Vivian to email me so I could show her the rest of the cards. But everything that you just said is in the cards, so I'm just going to show them. And I apologize to the other people that are waiting for I'm going to do this real quick. So the first card that we got here, Vivian, is Panda, which is balance, right? Now, the message on the card says, ask how to bring balance to the situation and into your heart, right? Which is what Chrissey was talking about, right? Then I've got Fox, which is shadow work, okay? And that message is there are no shadows without light. Then we've got snake, which is the Kundalini rising. Okay. And that message is channel your creative passion and sensuality. Welcome to transformation. So I wonder if you may be able to release some of this past hurt, whatever it may be, past trauma, by either doing some scribing or not scribing, but like automatic writing. Maybe you could do some sketches, some drawings while you meditate or something like that. It might help you as a different way to express or release the emotions, right? And then the last card that I got is surrender to prayer. And I just want to read this real quick to you. It's give yourself over completely to prayer. When you pray from your heart, you will be heard throughout the universe, and answers and support will arrive. And I think that's super interesting. That's the second. That's the second card that I got about your heart, and Chrissey got it as well, and so did Kathleen. So there's something about listening to your heart, and I don't want to go on about it, but your heart is the only thing that is never going to lie to you. It always speaks the truth. Listen to your heart.
I'm going to share with all you guys. Now, I recently I had counselling for a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things because I'm a very visual person, my counsellor said, why don't you draw or use some visuals? So I got out a sketch pad and I drew a series of sketches, and I'm just going to share one with you. And it's I call it Crossing Bridges. So this is from a place I have been. It's a representation. It's not exactly, but it's from the Fitzroy River where I worked when I was a lot younger, up in the Kimberleys, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is a river crossing, a shallow bridge and all that. There's also freshwater crops in there. It's not about this long.
Lovely.
Anyway, but it's called Crossing Bridges. And with each of these sketches, I wrote something. And this one I wrote, sometimes you have to cross some bridges to move into the next phase of your life. This doesn't mean you have to burn those bridges. It just means that you have to look at things from a different perspective in order to grow. So when you said draw and write, I did it, and it was really, really, and now sometimes when I get a little bit off balance, I will sit down and draw paint and do something in paint.
Yeah.
And so
it's a great way to release your emotions without actually realizing that you're releasing your emotions in a traditional way, if that makes sense. It feels less heavy when you do it through creative ways.
I can do one more read before I have to go, unfortunately, but it's Sherry.
Let's do Sherry. Sherry H.
Sherry H.
Sherry H.
Are you there,
Sherry,
my darling?
I don't know. But I'll just put it on here, and they can she can come back and if she wants to.
Everybody too. And, yeah.
You know, here's the thing. Vivian is everywhere, and she helps all of the readers in all of the different chat rooms. She's so wonderful. She's, so
She
positive.
is very sweet. Yes.
And I'm glad that all three of us were able to give her an awesome message.
There.
Whatever y'all feel led to draw.
Okay, Shari. Let's see. Okay, interesting. The chakras are really up there today.
Oh, yes.
Wow. Okay, I've got 6 cards here, Sherry, and they're pretty impressive. So I'll show you the first 3. I got the Ace of Cups, which is being able to both give and receive love. It's called the loving cup, but you have to know how to love yourself before you can ever truly love anyone else. And that is one of the tenets of the Ace of Cups. You're followed by the Death card. The Death card is transition, rebirth, renewal. And you got the Queen of Pentacles. So I think what it's saying is you have been given a gift to help you through the transition of becoming more spiritual. And you're going to be so comfortable in your skin. You are going to provide women, men who come to you asking questions or everything, you're going to point them in the right direction, because it's your path. And okay, I got 3 of these cards now. It's move into a new direction with the Traveler. Okay, so move into a new direction. It's purporting movement. You have to move to make your perspective change on things. You have to grow, and as it grows, I got the Direction Guardian. Choose your path. Choose whatever thing you feel really resonates with you. Choose it and get on it and stay with it. And Summer, which is bask in the joy and light.
I love that card.
So that's the final card. And so I'm thinking maybe you are starting something up or something, and it's going to do well, but it's the birthing part of it that is the transition. You know.
Okay, Sherry, I got Sherry. I got 3 cards for you. I drew 3 cards. The first one I got was trapped in fear, and you see this person. They're sitting there. They're sitting back in the shadows, but there is light there by the window, and I think that I do feel it's something to do with the gift, and that you want to explore it more, and you want to use it to help. But you're a little bit afraid that it could do more harm than good. That's a natural thing. So that's sort of trapping you from moving on. The first thing you have to do is rejoice and celebrate that you are the kind of person who wants to take what you have and use it to help others. That is such a good thing to celebrate. And whatever it is you have, it is a gift, and rejoice in having that gift. And the third thing to rejoice in, so there's 3 things to rejoice in: the fact that you are the kind of person who wants to help others, the fact that you have a gift that you feel you can use to do that. Okay. And I'm getting a bit fuzzy on the third one, but it's sort of like you've got some support. People are telling you could really help people here. Okay. But you are afraid of, we all make mistakes, darling. It's human. But of course, when you're dealing with other people and issues, yeah, you're afraid you'll make a mistake that could hurt others. And that's a natural fear. But unless you can step up and move beyond that, it is, you're going to feel trapped by what is really a gift. And the advice to do that is the crown chakra. Now, the interesting thing, it is the seventh chakra, and sevens are also about taking risk, which you've probably heard me say before. It's about pushing your boundaries and taking that risk and fully opening up yourself. Your crown chakra is your link between here and the universe. It's not here, as a lot of people might think. It's here. And so what you take some deep breaths, and the little book says you can say none. You don't have to use a chant, or you can use Om if you want. And the element here is thought. Okay, there's an old saying, I think, therefore I am.
Mm-hmm.
I feel this. I see this, therefore I do see it. It's accepting it. It's not doubting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not saying, "Oh, I think
I'm crazy. I'm crazy. Yeah.
It's accepting. Yeah, it is. I saw it, therefore I saw it.
That right there.
That. Okay, so you feel whatever it is you feel, whatever it is, and I think just the title of your name, your handle there, Voices from the Swamp. I but don't feel you need to be rushed into doing anything with it. Take your time, do your readings. I'm sure there's lots of readings you can do.
Yeah.
And maybe if you get the opportunity to talk to somebody who does, I use my cards. I'm not a direct medium. I don't feel I'm a medium, but if you know someone who is, or can guide you through that, or whatever. So take your time and don't let yourself be rushed. What is your future with the decision you've been trying to make? It says to stand your ground, keep going. You'll know, and this is also about setting the boundaries. And again, it's a 7, it's a risk. But it's testing your boundaries, and once you know what they are, work within them. Okay? You're a lovely soul, my darling.
We love you, Sherry. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Can I go?
Go.
Yeah.
Okay, Sherry. I pulled a bunch of cards because they just kept flowing in order. Oh, hello. There I am. Big on the screen. Surprise. This is what I've got for you, Sherry. So the first card I pulled is from the Soul's Journey. This is Judgment. Gorgeous. And I want you to pay attention that every single card I pulled, with the exception of the last 2, is got the same color in it, which is this beautiful violet-y, purpley kind of color. Okay, this message is, I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges, as Chrissey and Kathleen were both saying, right? Next, we have from the Secret Language of Color, we've got Violet. Create a balanced life. So again, talking about, keeping that equilibrium, right? Doing what you need to do that best serves you the way that you need to be served. I've got from the Secret Traveler, staying focused, hold your course. So don't allow, like Chrissy was saying, don't live under other people's expectations. You stay true to you, because that's what's going to serve you best. Right. Then I've got from the Moonology Manifestation deck, first quarter moon in Gemini. Now, just look at that picture. There are 2 people, or an image, a reflection of the same person, literally sitting in a field of beautiful lavender. Imagine how that smells, right? Speak your world into being. Exactly what Chrissey was just saying, right? If you say it is, then it is. So speak your world into being. Okay. Then I've got potential. Look at you erupting. Like you have the potential to do this. You just have to be kind to yourself, love. Be kind to yourself. You can't force this. There's no timeline for this, right? Okay, here we go. I've got hair from your animal wisdom deck, which is strength. Take time to make clear decisions, bring awareness and light to the situation. Again, tapping into your intuition and using your intuition to help guide you through this. And then at the end, love, this is where you're going to end up at this magical gateway. And notice that there's purple flowers at the top there. Can you see those without the glare? So magical gateway. It takes courage and trust to venture into the unknown, yet this is where the greatest rewards are. It's time to step boldly forward without looking back. So once you get to the point where you're starting to speak your world into being, that's when your potential is going to kick in to the point where you can't deny it anymore, right? That's when your strength is going to be knocking on the backside of you going, Sherry, see that door? Open it, honey, go through it. But you gotta wait till you're ready to get there. And I think that the only way that you do that is by standing in your own power and just listening to yourself. Listen to your intuition. It will guide you. And your heart. Your heart won't lead you astray either. That's what I got. Hope that you liked it.
I just remembered I could do that.
I just got one more little thing. When I was putting the cards away, I saw what was on the bottom of the deck, and it was another 8, and it was emotional withdrawal. Now, this is, I think, when the fear of opening yourself up to that light that you feel comes in, you tend to take a step back and withdraw into yourself, and maybe even withdraw from others a little bit. Okay? It's all right to walk up to that water and wade in. Okay? It's all right to do that. You don't have to go in very deep. Just dip your feet in and see how you go.
Yeah. The bottom of the deck, I got the star card. So it's all about faith, which is faith in yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. My darlings, I have to go. Thank you for sending me the invite.
Thank you so much for coming.
No, it's like, oh, come on, these guys are live. And I'm going, pick me, pick me, pick me. Mr. Carter, Mr. Carter, Mr. Carter. Thank you for letting me join you. But as I said, I could only stay on for a little while. You are such a lovely pair of ladies, and your lights are wonderful. And I love that you get so much purple. Purple's my favorite color.
It's one of mine too.
Yeah. And look, I do have to go, unfortunately. I can't even stay and watch the rest of the show. So
well, it's almost over anyway.
Please stay safe and
love you.
Okay.
Bye, Chrissey. See you next week.
Later. Yes, definitely. Looking forward to it. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. She's so fun.
Yes, she is very, very sweet.
And
well,
Sherry,
I hope that maybe my words, Kelly's words, and Chrissy's words, they basically all pointed in the same direction.
Yeah.
So I think you're in for an interesting journey.
Me too. Well said. And I love the fact that she said that she's a Gemini when I pulled that first quarter moon in Gemini. That's cool.
Well, do
you have any more comments or questions?
I haven't seen. Has anybody else? Have I missed I like this comment. Literally, we breathe part of the Earth Mother in every breath. She is our ally and one of our spiritual mothers. Of course, you always have to lean on her, Sherry. Yes, go girl. Yeah.
Well said, Mims. I say we pull a card for everyone. Or I could pull a card for you and you could pull a card for me and then we could pull a card for everyone.
Okay. What? Let's see. What deck do you need?
Many. I know what card I'm gonna. Well, I know what deck I'm gonna use for you. All right, what does Kathleen need to know? Wow. Of course, Mims, we can do that.
Of course, Mims, we can do that.
Kathleen, I got deer. I got trust. I do believe I pulled that for you before. It says approach this situation with a light heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh. I got Woodwives. Woodwives, which is all about adaptability. It's, you know, when people had to, well, okay, let me tell you a story. My grandma made poke salad. Well, if you've ever seen poke salad, it's this leafy weed that grows around here.
Sounds delish.
Yeah. And the smell of it cooking is unreal.
Nasty.
Yeah. It's kind of like cooking cabbage, but worse.
Oh, I love cabbage.
Yeah, but the cooking, I love cabbage to eat, but you know, the odor in the house, multiply it by 10 and you have poke salad, you know.
Yum.
And you have to boil it and then drain the water off, wash it, and boil it again. And then you can put it into like bacon grease or whatever. And I asked my grandmother why. And she said, because it's poison. If you don't, you know, throw away the water and wash it and do it again. And I'm like, and as a 5-year-old child, I turned around and I asked her, why on earth would you eat something that was poison? And then I said, and who was the first person who figured it out? Because you know, this blew my
someone have to die to understand this recipe is not good.
this blew my mind. But I was coming from someone who had never known hunger.
Right.
So your adaptability has a lot to do with both your viewpoint, and how you react to the world. But it is one of our best traits, because you can put a human into any situation,
right,
and they still strive for survival.
Yeah. I had a past life reading done. I volunteered to get a past life reading done with Nancy Jean today. For those of you that do not know, Nancy Jean has, of course, her garden oracle, and she's done a version for past lives, and she's working out the process of how it all sort of comes together and unfolds. And what was revealed to me, literally, like I could cry, because you know, when we go into these rooms and into these chats, we ask questions and we hope that we're going to get something that's going to make us feel better, that's going to answer a question, or possibly both, right? Give us some hope. So we can get a little bit more peace back in our hearts. And this message that she gave me today, the more I think about it, the more emotional I feel, because I feel like I found a puzzle piece that's been missing for 10 years. And why it makes me emotional is not because of what she said, but what it means to me personally. For 10 years, and you know yourself, you did a shadow reading on am I control, and I have heard that for 10 years that I want to control everything. And when I hear that sounds very negative to me, that I want to be like I'm a control freak, right? And like it's negative and it's bad. I don't hear anything positive in that. And what she told me was that I was a young male that I was born in 1612, and I was the third son in a family, so I didn't matter. Right? So the first one is the heir, the second one is the spare, and the third one is like whatever. And so I worked in service for my father. And my father, I was like a page, and my father sent me into these horrible situations, and I literally died in battle in service of my father. And there was something about this. So I was like 23, 25 years old or something like that when I died. And I died a tragic, horrible death on the battlefield. And that explains so many things. That is why I control situations. That is why I am afraid of doctors, why I am afraid of dying, why I have white coat syndrome, et cetera, et cetera. And all of a sudden I felt this like peace come over me that it makes sense now, and it's okay, because you have to control some situations in your life. It's all right. And all of a sudden, like every time I heard it and made me feel bad before, it suddenly is gone, and now it doesn't make me, and that's why I'm emotional, because I feel like a total weight has been lifted off me.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I always tell people, emotions, I hate the label negative emotions, positive emotions.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
emotions are emotions.
Yes.
And we naturally try to control situations because our ego mind, the conscious mind, I'll start saying conscious mind rather than ego, because some people have a connotation with ego that I don't think is entirely correct. When you are trying to get your ego out of a situation, like throwing cards, you are trying to get your bias, but see, it still has a connotation because it's bias. But what you are doing is trying to read the cards without having the any. You don't want to go and sunshines and rainbows, and you don't want to go gloom and despair. It's just reading what you see.
Right. Yeah.
And so, and that's something I always pray for. But, what word do you put on that? Because most people say ego, but yeah, you want to take yourself out of the cards, but
it's
when you say when you say ego, people automatically think you're grandiose, you're big and all blah, blah, blah.
Ego isn't negative. We all need ego to survive, and
exactly.
I like, to me, success equals ego equals success. I want to be good at what I want to do, or whatever I'm doing. I want to be successful. There's no shame or blame in wanting to be good at whatever it is that you do, right? It's when you start comparing yourself to other people that your ego starts to get on that side where it's a slippery slope, right?
Yeah. Did you see?
Yes, I did. Thank you, Mary.
Okay.
And thank you, everybody, for saying that. Yeah, it was like so interesting that I thought I would share it. This is what I got for you, Mims. This is so cool. I've got the Phoenix from the Spirit Animal Wisdom deck, which is Empower. And the message on the bottom of the card is fire activations bring creative and spiritual freedom. And I was like, okay, so that's awesome. I also pulled the leadership card. Look at that. Beautiful. And oddly enough, I have the complete opposite now cards. I have relaxation. But just look at that. What is she doing? She's reading a book, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I got stillness. So to me, when you look at this stillness picture and you think about a swan and how it looks so majestic and graceful and like larger than life, this magnificent creature sort of just floating, right? it looks effortless, but you know that their feet are going like 1 billion miles an hour underneath the water in almost like a panicked kind of state. And so I think what this is telling you is for you to be able to activate your spiritual freedom, you need to find that balance between which, the relaxation and that majestic sort of floating across the top of the water. And how do you do that? By taking leadership of you, taking, speaking of control, sort of taking control of your person, if that makes sense. That's what I got. I hope that makes sense to you.
I got first breath, beginner's mind.
Beautiful.
When you look at a situation, you look at it with no preconceived ideas, like what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And I think that MIMS has that ability in most cases. But this is what's interesting.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm trying to listen to you and I'm trying not to laugh. Did you see MK Karen? Good night, my love. She said, faking asleep. Good night, everyone. And she's like, no, falling. That was too funny. I didn't want to start laughing while you were doing your reading. I had to share.
Okay, Crown Games, right use of power and sacred contracts, the covenant. I think that you know that the power that you have, that everybody has, that our souls have, that are connected to Mother Earth, you realize that there is a right way and a wrong way to use that. And you have a sacred contract with the earth. It's hallowed bone. It's called teachability. You want to learn. You have desire for that. And a tidy house, clarity and organization. I think this teachability is to and the first breath. It may mean that you are encountering something new to you, and to get clarity on it, you need to throw out all of the old ideas and just look at this new thing as just a new thing. And I think you'll have success on it. But the fact that I see a woman one with nature. Your favorite thing is to walk barefoot, onto your front porch, smell or back porch, your deck, and look at what you have planted. That's your solace, your cup of tea, sitting and relaxing time. And I really think that you can handle any new thing coming at you.
That was really good. This is what I do for fun now, folks. Are you ready? Here we go. Don't ask me even why. This makes me giggle every time I do it, and it's totally stupid. But I'm sharing because, it's that time of night. What can I tell you? Ready? Here we go.
Okay.
I have no idea why that amuses me so much. It's like I'm hiding behind my cards or something. It's like, do you remember back in the old days when you would watch a TV show, like Johnny Carson, for example, and they had like the big curtain, right? And it's like, you don't drop the curtain. I don't know why. It's like phase out.
Oh yeah, fades to black. Fades to black.
Yeah. Small things amuse small minds. What can I tell you? I don't know. Oh my goodness.
All right, y'all. Oh,
This was a lot of fun. Thank you, Kathleen, for having me on. I appreciate you, my friend. And thanks for everyone in the chat hanging out with y'all. It was fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's always, when you have someone sitting in front of you and you're reading cards to them, you can see by the look on their face and everything what really like resonates and everything. And so doing it blind without anybody saying things or whatever, you're like, am I right? Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah. Well, it's just a lot of fun hanging out with you.
Well, we will call it a night because I'm got to get in bed. There's going to be another storm come through at 4 a.m. And so I got to sleep until I can't. So
exactly.
Well, we'll see y'all later. And thank you so much for coming to see me. And thank you for all your questions.
Yes, absolutely.
Mwah! I love y'all.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.